university. Nothing. Just didn't have the money. And that's when you didn't have government programs paying for it, or even loans for it. You either
You pay or you couldn't.
pay or you couldn't. I told my dad, I'm joining up. And I said, well, wait for the draft, wait for your turn. They might forget about you. And I said, look, I don't think so, Dad. And besides, if I go now, I'll get the GI Bill of Rights. And he said, well, you know, governments, they promise you everything and then they don't deliver.
Yeah.
At least that's been my experience. And he's talking about he as an immigrant living overseas where he came from in the Middle East. But out of 16 or 20, I forget what, that volunteered, because we all wanted the GI Bill of Rights, only 5 went to college. And when I started getting the tuition checks, he said, you know, maybe this country is different. I went to a job fair with a friend who wanted a job. He was looking for new work. And he talked me into filling out a form. I said, I don't want another job. I got a job.
What was that job?
It was for J.M. Huber Corporation at printing inks. And I worked in the lab. So I filled out the form in paper, in pencil, and scribbled.
It's like,
And what it proved is somewhere, someone saw it, wanted it, my skills, and offered me a job on the phone. And my mother said, got a call from Seattle, call them back. I said, they don't need me. My background's chemical. They're in building airplanes, and they made a mistake. They called a second time, they called a third time, and Mom said, either you tell them or I will, the next phone call, you're not interested. Well, I called back, and I said, you guys made a mistake, you don't need me. And they said, no, we have a missile program, there are chemicals on the missiles, we need you. If I did not have the GI Bill of Rights privilege, I would not have gone to university.
Yep.
And not having gone to university, my life would have been completely different.